Alright guys, welcome back. We're going to be starting on the small block 350 build. Starting with cam bearings. Let's take a look. Alright, when you get ready to do your cam bearings, when you order your bearings you should have on your box, it'll show you right here which order to install them with a part number beside it. So that's the number 1 position. And of course you'll have 2 and 5 and then 3 and 4. Just make sure you put those in correctly. Now what I like to do is I have a cam bearing installer. So I'll take and put me a line on it just like this. And I always line up my hole with the line on it, because this would be the back bearing at the back of the engine block. When you put this in, you actually have to rotate this upside down, but that line will be there to keep you lined up and straight, because this hole I line up with the bottom hole in here. Now when I go to the 4th one, I still do the same thing, still line it up with the hole, but this hole will be straight up and down, just like that. Same way with the 3rd one, same way with the 2nd one, and same way with the 1st one. The only difference with the 1st one, the 1st cam bearing actually has 2 holes. So I'll line the hole straight up with this one, but this hole over here, it'll go in the 2 o'clock position. If you was basically looking at the block with the block right side up, it'd be in the 2 o'clock position. That's basically all there is to it. Just make sure you line it up, and just, make sure your hole is in this center channel of each one. But I'm gonna get these put in and I'll be back. Alright, I got the first one in. It's all lined up. And another little trick you can do just to make sure, just take you a straw and just make sure it'll go down in there. And then you're lined up with your hole. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but as you can see right there, the hole's lined up perfectly centered. So that's the way you want to do each one of these, and you'll be in good shape. Alright guys, it's time to get the crank put in. Alright, and on your seal, make sure your bigger lip right here goes facing towards the inside. I'll put a little dab of RTV on the corners. Alright, once I get all the main caps snug down, I do 65 pounds on the outer and 70 foot-pounds on the 3 centers. And once you do that, make sure your crank can still turn freely. Alright, I'm going to show you guys how to assemble a rod, piston, and rings. Just make sure on your rod that you put the chamfered edge towards the crank, which would be to the left side if you're putting it on with your piston valve relief to the top. Just lubricate your wrist pin. Lubricate the rod. Then of course, make sure you got it the correct way. Alright, once you get your wrist pin in, just put on your 2 clips, one on each side. Just make sure it snaps in good. And that's all there is to it. Then you move on to the rings. Alright, when you put on your second ring, it's got a beveled edge right here as well. That beveled edge goes to the bottom. And a lot of them will tell you right here, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it says top. That'll go to the top, that beveled edge go to the bottom. And then your last ring can go either way. And just make sure that those gaps You just turn them all opposite of each other. Just don't let none of them line up and you're good to go. All right, let's get the pistons installed. Make sure you oil your cylinder hole, oil your pistons good. Push in your rod bearing. Make sure you use a assembly lube or oil or something. Then we want to put on our ring squeezers. Needs to be opened a little more. All right, you get it all squeezed down. You're gonna be careful and slide this in. Once you got it sitting flat and everything straight, make sure your crank is turned the right way, facing it to go on. And just bump it in. All right, once you get the piston pushed in, lubricate your cap. Same way here, make sure your chamfered edge goes towards your crank. Then you just want to snug them down and get them all done, and then torque them to 45 pounds, and you're good to go. All right, guys. We've got all the pistons installed. Everything's in. And looks pretty good. So it won't be too much longer. We'll finish the engine build. I actually got to get it done pretty soon to go in here. I've got some stuff ordered. I'm waiting on subframe bushings. I'm waiting on a new rag joint. I got a few little odd and ends to replace on it. Try to get the firewall finished and painted. And once that's done, I got to get this motor put in. Once we get the motor put in, we'll finish the body work, get the car jammed out, and put it all together and hopefully get some paint on it. We got a new deck lid. I got a new deck lid for the 72. Went ahead and got 2 new fenders. So all that'll be on the 72 project. And I'm still waiting on the 69 driver's side fender. I've got ordered. It should be here soon. I've got a new deck lid for the 69. And we got 2 new door skins, which we'll be putting on this car hopefully pretty soon. But we got to get stuff wrapped up on the 72 before we move on to that. All right, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, projects don't fix themselves. Quit talking about it and let's make it happen.